such as shade houses and climate-smart practices to increase yields, strengthen farm-to-market logistics, and support value addition and practical storage solutions to maintain shelf life. According to Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa, this initiative is necessary given the region's vulnerability to climate change.
I am particularly encouraged by the intention of this project, one which embraces an integrated approach across the entire agriculture value chain, involving farmers, input suppliers, extension workers, processors, wholesalers, exporters, retailers, and the regional development partners. All of the far-reaching benefits that this project promises can be divorced from other related regional goals, such as the reduction of our food import bill by 25% by 2025.
Funded by U.S. aid, CAPA is one of the initiatives by the U.S. government coming out of the 9th Summit of the Americas to assist Caribbean community, CARICOM, with combating climate change and enhancing the region's food security.
CAPA is going to address these challenges by promoting sustainable agricultural practices, increasing farmer knowledge via improved extension capacity, formalizing smallholder market access by building medium, small, and micro enterprise capacities, and improving the region's access to locally produced food. And in that way, it actually meshes quite beautifully with the 25 by 25 program of CARICOM.
Meanwhile, USAID Regional Representative Mervyn Farrow said the agency is working with Caribbean partners to mitigate the challenges affecting food production.
CAPA will be addressing several challenges aimed at strengthening the supply chain for target fruits and vegetables. The activity will have a significant focus on private sector engagement, including strengthening the capacity of micro, small, and medium enterprises in the agricultural sector, and creating critical linkages and access to markets in the region. Many of our smallholder farmers will benefit from access to world-class technical assistance, linkages with financial institutions, and critical markets where there is the requisite demand.
CAPA is being rolled out by U.S.-based Improving Economies for Stronger Communities, IESC, in several countries across the Caribbean, including Guyana, where the focus will be on specific produce.
In Guyana, we will be working in cherries, turmeric, and coconut. In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we'll be working in banana and plantain, dasheen and sweet potato, and fresh vegetables. In Suriname, we'll be working in banana and plantain, turmeric and passion fruit. And in Dominica, we'll be working in cassava, dasheen and sweet potato, and passion fruit. So you can see there's a little bit of overlap between countries, and so there's opportunities for us to share lessons across countries where those opportunities present themselves.
Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manik-Chand.
Meanwhile, as part of the USAID-funded US $5.3 million Caribbean Agricultural Productivity Improvement Activity Initiative, the University of Guyana will be working with experts to improve the turmeric value chain in Guyana as well as other regional nations. Here is Vanu Manik-Chand again with the details.
The University of Guyana on Wednesday signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the U.S.-based Improving Economies for Stronger Communities, IESC, to collaborate on the CAPA initiative, a 3-year US $5.3 million USAID-funded program that will help farmers increase fruit and vegetable productivity, build relationships between buyers, suppliers, and farmers, and improve farm-level extension systems. The initiative will be rolled out in several countries across the Caribbean, including Guyana, where the focus will be on cherry, coconut, and turmeric production. Through its Institute for Food and Nutrition Security, UG will be focusing on enhancing turmeric production in Guyana, Suriname, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
It's a project which originates from the Institute of Food and Nutrition Security, but CAPA has come on board as a collaborator. So they're partnering with us in specific areas. So for example, in areas of demonstration plots, they will provide funding assistance and personnel to assist us in setting up several demonstration plots in Guyana so that farmers can understand the best conditions for growing turmeric, and also with marketing and also with training.
Currently, Region 1 has been identified as Guyana's spice capital, with some 100 acres of turmeric presently under cultivation. According to Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa, these 3 target commodities identified for development in Guyana have significant growth potential, and as such, government has been investing in creating an enabling environment to increase their productivity here, especially in the coconut industry.
For the last 3 years, we have built nurseries in Region 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, and this year I am hoping that we can build in Region 10 and 8. Coconut production, so we have seen the increase in coconut production to about 40,000 seedlings in 2023, and there was an expansion of 6,500 acres of coconut from 2020 to 2023. We have also started to import the Brazilian green dwarf coconut, a high-yielding nut, and we are helping farmers to get that nut so that we can increase yield. We have seen the coconuts has been one of the most lucrative crops around the world, and I think many farmers, over 500 farmers in Guyana, have been engaged in this program to expand coconut production.
With regards to cherry, efforts have already begun locally to expand Guyana's production capacity to meet the high demand market.
IESC has already commenced stakeholders consultation, having met with NARI, a major processor, and some of the small processors, and a number of the cherry farmers in the Laluni area. There is a strong demand for cherries, especially for the use in the fruit juice industry, and assisting smallholder farmers to increase production will help to meet this need. Cherries among the preferred fruit juices demanded. Information from a major processor suggests that the demand for cherries average 1 million pounds per annum. Presently, we have supply less than 50% of that. So it's a lot of work we have to do among the cherry farmers to expand cultivation. And as Minister of Agriculture in Guyana and ministerial head of the Ministerial Task Force, I want to say that we can work very closely with USAID to develop this program.
Reporting for the Evening News, Fanu Manakchand.
Minister of Parliamentary Affairs and Governance, TEIXEIRA, has blasted the APNU+AFC government for their failed leadership whilst in government and now in opposition, contending that its leaders are suffering from intellectual bankruptcy and are unable to see the big picture of Guyana's development. Here's what she had to say during her contribution to the 2024 budget debates today.
Mr. Speaker, I've been through a lot of the budgets in this House. I think I reached 34 so far, 34 budgets. And since 2012, the APNU opposition has become more and more irresponsible and reckless and lacking in substance during these debates. There was no difference even when they were in government, unfortunately. Mr. Speaker, we dare say that the listening public have been subjected to the vitriol of the APNU+AFC MPs, who appear to be living and nurtured in a bubble of intellectual opportunism and naysay, and may I say, and in some cases, sheer intellectual bankruptcy. They gave salary increases to the public service and took it back with 200 taxes. Took out $200,000 out of the pockets of each family of this country in each year that they were in office. They scrapped the cash care program. And I remember in 2012, when the program was introduced in Guyana, that an honorable member who is present here said that the $10,000 was miserly and we should give more. Unfortunately, when the same person was part of the government of APNU+AFC, the program was totally abandoned. Mr. Speaker, they spent over $1.4 trillion between 2015 and 2020, and there's nothing substantial to show for it. My conclusions are that the APNU+AFC and their mother party, the PNC, has never gone through any catharsis so as to define their ideological and programmatical vision for Guyana. They have fed their supporters a diet for over 50 years of victimology, racial division, fear and fiction and untruths, which they cannot extricate themselves from and change course. If you repeat a lie enough, you begin to believe your own lie. And so you cannot extricate yourself and refresh yourself and create a new PNC because you're so steeped in this DNA of violence, of racial division, of fear and fiction and untruths. In fact, Mr. Speaker, they have descended to such depths that the more the Guyanese people want progress, and the more the people respond to the government's programs, housing, grow, win, part-time jobs, small business grants, black belly, sheep and roosters, they go into a tailspin, not knowing what to do except to pull out the one card left in the pack. Division, innuendos about race, and now a new soundbites. The new soundbites of 2024. Contractor capitalist class and PPPC friends, families, favorites and flatters. They ignore the fact that they're becoming more and more isolated and out of tune with the people and where the people want to see Guyana become. They continue on this path and they're convinced that they're right. They will end up in the dustbin of political parties. The PPP has chosen a path at national development of pro-growth, pro-poor, based on transforming the physical infrastructure of Guyana to open up the country to modernity, new areas of production and economic activity, thus creating new skill sets and jobs, new entrepreneurs, more farmers, on a principle of no one left behind. Hence the parallel investment in Goal, Grow, Win, BIT, TVET, UG, and the new training center, new social welfare programs, and the enhancement, expansion of the present social welfare programs for the poor and vulnerable. And in the health and, of course, education, housing, and water sectors, we have seen amazing changes and opportunities created. Mr. Speaker, the PNC, unfortunately, has no such vision. But I've heard in this house this whole last 3 days, why are you building this? Physical infrastructure, why are you spending so much on this? It is looking in things in an analytical mind, in a silo mind, and not understanding the big picture. You don't get the big picture. You just don't. I call on the opposition. If there is anybody who was left out of the COVID-19 allowances, and the one-off pensions for the pensioners, or for all the other programs we did. Bring the names, let's fix it. No, but you don't want to fix nothing. You want to have this mantra you can call discrimination. You are not interested in fixing nothing. You're not interested in representing the people who you say were discriminated against, who did not receive these things.
The People's Progressive Party Civic Administration has already expended billions into the agriculture sector and will continue to invest in all regions across the country. This message was made by Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa during the third day of the 2024 budget debates in response to an earlier presentation by opposition parliamentarian with shadow responsibility for the agriculture sector, Vince Roy Jordan. Trishelle Sobers has this story.
Parliamentarians Vince Roy Jordan and Zulfikar Mustafa clashed over hefty investments for the agriculture sector, given that $97.6 billion was set aside in this year's budget for the advancement of the sector. During his remarks in the National Assembly, Jordan disclosed that the money spent for the sector does not necessarily benefit a majority of farmers across the country. In this regard, he asserted that agricultural production continues to be focused on the coast and not expanded into more rural and hinterland regions. However, Mustafa debunked this claim, noting that many industries were revitalized and will be further developed in 2024. On this point, he revealed that Region 1 was transformed into the central area for spices, while villages in Region 9 are now producing their own rice. And further, the construction of a new agro-processing facility in Region 7 is aiding in the manufacturing of products.
Mr. Speaker, like the Honorable Leader of the Opposition, Mr. Aubrey Compton Norton, I share the views and vision that the people of regions number 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, and 10 must be given the opportunity to develop their potential in agriculture, to feed those regions and play also, sir, an integral role in placing Guyana, not only as the breadbasket of the Caribbean, sir, but also the South American nation that will feed the nations of the world.
The young people of our country today, they are not being told to go and do plantainship, cook up rice, and dark food, and pepper sauce. Young people today, they are involved in agriculture. The hydroponics project that will start in regions 2, region 5, and 10, where over 300 young people from each project will be involved. We are not telling them we have a policy. We have a policy to ensure that Guyana becomes food secure.
Further, Jordan stated that under the coalition government from 2015 to 2020, the Guyana Sugar Corporation GAISUCU received approximately $4 billion in budgetary provision to support the industry's profitability. He lamented that in 3 years, the PPPC has invested more than $30 billion in the industry, but significant gains have not been seen. In response, Mustafa rejected the comments, reminding those gathered at the National Assembly that the coalition government, quote, closed estates and left thousands of people unemployed, end quote. And as a result, PPPC upon its return to office in 2020 was, quote, forced to spend large sums, end quote, to reopen estates so that production could recommence.
The sugar industry, as I said, we will continue to revitalize and recapitalize, because when we took over in 2020, when we went to these estates, we inherited damaged ponds, factories were damaged, fields were abandoned. Today, the sugar industry is once again becoming vibrant. We are seeing growth in the sugar industry. This year, we have seen a 28% growth in the sugar industry. Last year, sorry, and this year, further it will go another 66% to ensure that we make 100,000 tons of sugar.
This year, $6 billion has been set aside for GAISUCU to help the corporation to bolster its production and operational efficiency. Trishelle Sobers, Evening News.
President Dr. Irfaan Ali has noted that the upcoming meeting of foreign ministers in Brazil is an important step in fulfilling the agreements under the joint declaration of ARGYLE made by himself and Venezuelan head of state Nicolas Maduro. The first meeting of the Joint Commission, as envisioned by the Joint Declaration of ARGYLE for Dialogue and Peace, agreed to following the meeting of the presidents of Guyana and Venezuela on December 14, 2023, will be held in Brasilia, Brazil on January 25, 2024. The meeting will be attended by the foreign ministers and technical persons of both countries, and its main aim would be addressing matters as mutually agreed. The Guyana delegation will be led by Foreign Affairs Minister Hugh Hilton Todd, Foreign Secretary Robert Persaud, Permanent Secretary Ambassador Elizabeth Harper, Guyana's Ambassador to Venezuela Richard Van West Charles, Director of the Frontiers Department Donnet Street, and Chargé d'Affaires of the Guyana Embassy in Brazil Vernon Robinson. President Ali says Guyana remains fully committed to the principles of the ARGYLE Declaration, in particular the maintenance of peace in Latin America and the Caribbean. Here's what he had to say.
I think that the meeting is a very important step in fulfilling what we agreed on in St. Vincent, and that was the establishment of this commission to look at all the consequential matters, to develop an agenda so that the conversation between the two countries can continue, and setting the stage for the second meeting between the two presidents. So for us, it's important from the agreement perspective, that is, we have quickly moved towards honoring the agreement, implementing the agreement. Secondly, it continues the conversation that is very critical, the conversation between Guyana and Venezuela. It adds to the stability and peaceful environment. And importantly, it gives us now the opportunity to outline an agenda with items that both sides will want to speak on, issues of trade, climate, energy security, initiative to expand our trade, to improve our neighborly relationship. These are all things that are crucial in a stable and peaceful environment. So from all of these perspectives, I think it's key.
Meanwhile, President Dr. Irfaan Ali will be honored for his strong and transformational leadership during an official visit to Accra, Ghana this week. The head of state departed Guyana today and will return to Georgetown on Monday, January 29, 2024. President Ali will be conferred with the prestigious Global Africa Leadership Award for his strong and transformational leadership since taking office in August 2020. The honor also recognizes President Ali's commitment to building one Guyana by emphasizing the need for unity, inclusivity, and shared prosperity, and his strong and principled leadership during the period of heightened tension due to the border controversy between Guyana and Venezuela. During his official visit, the president is also expected to deliver the keynote address at the Presidential Dialogue session and participate in panel discussions at the Africa Prosperity Dialogues Summit Head of State and business leaders. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to kick off the new year with a bang? Digicel has an offer that'll make your January extra special. Imagine winning up to $1 million in free groceries in Digicel's $6 million groceries extravaganza. Simply top up with $1,000 or more, and you can be one of 6 lucky winners to enjoy the ultimate shopping spree worth $6 million. What are you waiting for? Start topping up today. Digicel, the network for everyone, everywhere.
Transitions Light Intelligent Lenses. Pick your color. Choose your style. Available at Optique Vision Care.
Superbet, your best bet. With many agents countrywide, our products are easily accessible. Visit an agent nearest to you to play your favorite games. Must be 18 years and older. Terms and conditions apply. Play responsibly.
Welcome back. You're watching the evening news. A baby girl is among 2 persons who were killed in a tragic accident last night at the intersection of the No Heroes Highway and the Diamond Main Access Road. Loana McAllister reports that the other victim is the father of a teenager who was only a few months ago killed in a road accident.
Moments after the accident occurred on Tuesday night at the intersection of the Heroes Highway and Diamond Main Access Road on the east bank of Demerara. Dead are 3-year-old Ellie Prasad and 50-year-old Bhagat Singh, who were among 6 occupants in motorcar PAD 6435. The other occupants were the driver, 21-year-old Daniel Gomes, as well as 23-year-old Brittany Hendricks, Tricia Singh, and 1-year-old Emily Prasad, all of Providence Housing Scheme. The 4 survivors are currently hospitalized. According to the police report, the accident transpired at around 18:10 when Gomes, allegedly speeding along the eastern carriageway of Heroes Highway, missed a crucial diversion and collided with concrete piles on the side of Diamond Main Access Road. Lawfully placed reflectors and road markings were intended to guide vehicles into a westward turn onto Diamond Main Access Road. However, Gomes failed to execute the turn as specified. Citizens who witnessed the incident promptly intervened, rescuing 3 occupants from the backseat of the vehicle. The 2 babies, and Trisha Singh were all rushed to the Diamond Diagnostic Center, where the 3-year-old succumbed to her injuries during medical treatment. The other 2 occupants were admitted for observation. The other 2 occupants were subsequently transported to the Diamond Hospital, where Singh was pronounced dead and the driver was admitted as a patient. Hendricks was referred to the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation and is currently admitted to the critical bay. It was only 5 months ago that Singh had lost his 17-year-old son, Devanand Singh, who was among 4 teens who died in an accident at Canal No. 2, West Bank Demerara. Singh, who had been driving the motor car, was transporting 19-year-old Daniel Turbani, 18-year-old Devyani Narayan, and 19-year-old Amisha Yashoda Jaikaran when he lost control of the vehicle and crashed into a parked truck and then into a concrete fence along the Resource Public Road. Lawanda McAllister for the Evening News.
There was never a holistic plan for the welfare of public servants under the Partnership for National Unity Alliance for Change coalition government during their tenure in office, Minister Sonia Parag has contended during her contributions to the 2024 budget debates yesterday. Trishelle Sobers tells us more.
Former Minister of Public Service Sonia Parag, who was at the time responding to several allegations made by multiple opposition parliamentarians during the 2024 budget debates, disclosed that public servants benefited from little to nothing under the coalition government when compared to the People's Progressive Party civic administration 3 years in office. To support this argument, Parag revealed that APNU+AFC trained 4,931 public servants in various disciplines during its tenure, while PPPC trained 4,997 in 3 years, and this number, she said, will double in 2024. Parag, now Minister of Local Government, further pointed out that the APNU+AFC expended $700.4 million in budgetary provisions for the Public Service Ministry in 2015, $1 billion in 2016, $1.2 billion in 2017, $1.6 billion in 2018, and $1.9 billion in 2019, while the ruling government expended $9.58 million in 2020, $2 billion in 2021, $3.8 billion in 2022 and 2023, respectively, in just scholarship financing. She explained that the PPPC has doubled its spending for human capital development when compared to the coalition because its priority is to improve the livelihood of all Guyanese, despite their race, economic status, and social standing.
Amounting to over $10 billion expended by this government for human resource development, and again, in 3 years, and again for the benefit of the Honorable Mahi Paul, human capital development in this country. That's where you have your feet on the neck of the public servants. In addition to that, what you also did was to fix the very same money that you claim that you give them, this huge salary increase, which we're yet to question because you know your maths. But you also, in addition to that, taxed everything. So you gave with one hand and snatched with the other. And on top of that, there was never a holistic plan for the welfare of public servants.
Further, Parag went on to defend the Guyana Online Academy for Learning Goal Initiative, revealing that some 21,442 Guyanese benefited from scholarships since 2021.
And I have heard so much negativity this year from the opposition members in relation to the GOAL project and the GOAL initiative. But I'm not certain that you know that 2 of your own members sitting over there found the GOAL program attractive and appealing enough that they are on the program, sitting in this house, granted by this government. That is what you call inclusion.
Trishelle Silbers, Evening News.
Local authorities are facing an uphill task of addressing the challenges in the gold mining sector, chief among those being the labor shortages and consistent decline in gold declarations. Nevertheless, Minister of Natural Resources Vikram Bharat says there are a number of exciting plans in the pipeline to energize the industry this year. Let's find out more from Lawanda McAllister.
Addressing the National Assembly on Tuesday during the 2024 budget debates, Minister of Natural Resources Vikram Bharat said the shortage of labor is one of the main challenges impacting the local gold mining sector.
Besides some Troy resources being closed down, there is a severe shortage of labor in the mining sector. Most people's preference is to work on the coast, where they're earning almost the same salary that they once received in the gold bush, as it's commonly called. Mr. Speaker, the weather condition hasn't been too kind either. In 2021, 2022, there was severe flooding. In 2023, we had severe drought, and we're all Guyanese, we know that. Mr. Speaker, resources that were once accessible have now been depleted. It can't remain there forever. It simply means, Mr. Speaker, it simply means that the Guyana Geological Mines Commission have to look at new measures, have to look at new ways in which we can help miners and to incentivize and to grow, especially the small and medium scale operations. And because of that, I want to thank Minister Singh for the whole $400 million that's in Budget 2024 to start the mineral inventory process in our mining districts.
This, he explained, will help in the making of more informed decisions.
We were unable to do so, Mr. Speaker, because of the cost. It is very costly to do the survey in all the mining districts. This budget, it is a start to do that mineral survey. So now we can allocate blocks and claims in a more informed manner.
Minister Bharat also spoke about the consistent decline in gold declarations, noting that the trend started in 2017.
Indeed, there's a decline in gold. And this decline, Mr. Speaker, those of you who are following the sector, this decline started in 2017 and it has continued. Check the figures and you will see. The decline started in 2017 and it has continued. The peak production that we had was in 2016, and mainly because of the investment of Troy Resources and Aurora Gold Mine brought by the PPP Civic Administration, mainly because of their contribution to our production. We peaked in 2016, and since then we have been on the decline.
Nevertheless, the minister said there are exciting plans ahead for the industry this year, including working along with Amerindian communities to regularize mining.
One of our large-scale gold company operating for the first year will start producing through its underground mine, very first one in the history of our country. Mr. Speaker, it is also important that as an agency, we open new areas, we make it accessible. We make lands accessible that we have done in the Troy Resources area, thereby giving 82 small Guyanese miners claims in that area, most of whom have already started their operations. Mr. Speaker, it is also in the cards, and I'm sure the honourable member will be happy to hear, that we have to work with the Amerindian communities to regularize mining activities in indigenous communities. That is definitely a priority for us.
Moreover, Minister Bharat posited that there are extensive gold exploration activities ongoing in a number of areas across the country, and so far the results are promising. Lawanda McAllister, The Evening News.
21 persons from Region 6 has joined the Health Ministry's voluntary counseling and testing program. The individuals are now certified HIV/AIDS testers. More in this report.
Guyana's Voluntary Counseling and Testing (VCT) program provides AIDS awareness and education training at work sites, rigorous blood screening for HIV and other infectious markers, and support for orphans and vulnerable children, among others. Its aim is to reduce the risk and vulnerability to infection with HIV through targeted public education focused on healthcare providers, youths, employees, employers, entertainers, and commercial sex workers. The 21 new HIV/AIDS testers will aid in these efforts by ensuring citizens in Region 6 have access to the service, which is available at various healthcare facilities, including the New Amsterdam Hospital. Advisor to the Minister of Health, Dr. Leslie Ramsamy, lauded the graduates for completing the program, noting they will now complement the ministry's efforts towards improving access to medical services.
We in the health sector can't leave anyone behind, or for that matter, education or any of the development program. We have to take it to the people, because the people we save, the people we empower to live long, productive lives, can make a difference in their community, can make a difference in their country, and can make a difference in the world.
Dr. Ramsamy added that the program aims to expand the number of people who have access to prevention measures for HIV/AIDS.
Our government is determined to get back on the path we were and to arrive in 2030 as one of the countries, one of the developing countries that reached its SDG goal of ending AIDS in our country. We may have detoured a little from the pathway we were on of success, but we have the capacity to get back on the road. We must get back on the road.
Trishelle Sobers, Evening News.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge will be closed to vehicular traffic on Thursday, January 25th, 2024 at 4 hours for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is expected to be closed at 15 hours 25 on Thursday, January 25th, 2024 for a period of 1.5 hours.
Sinclair to make debut in second Australia Test and squash doubles court nearing completion. Details of these stories and more in the Sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp, coming up on the other side of the break.
Complete control of power is in your hands with the ultimate U.S. brand Generac generators from Sylvie's Variety Store. Get the supply and reliability you need every time. From 1,800 to 8,000 watts of power for residential and commercial use. Recoil and electric start with gasoline engines. Generac generators from the authorized dealers Sylvie's Variety Store.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
It's a new day with Shilling Oil. A unique blend of natural oils to help ease and soothe the day-to-day discomforts of life. Get relief from muscle and joint pain, headaches, and congestion. Shilling Oil lets you get back to the things you love doing most. Water relief with Shilling Oil. Distributed by Massey Distribution.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to kick off the new year with a bang? Digicel has an offer that'll make your January extra special. Imagine winning up to $1 million in free groceries in Digicel's $6 million groceries extravaganza. Simply top up with $1,000 or more, and you can be one of 6 lucky winners to enjoy the ultimate shopping spree worth $6 million. What are you waiting for? Start topping up today. Digicel, the network for everyone, everywhere.